becomes more and more important. And that's for every guy here. We got to do it better. Our goal is to have the kind of team that nobody wants to play. And that means that we have to impose our will to dominate the competition all the time. It's all about what does it take to bring
Ole Miss versus Georgia this Saturday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Big game. Huge game. Ole Miss. Can Ole Miss get a signature win? Can Lane Kiffin get a big time win against a big time team? Number 2 ranked Georgia. Can they continue this long win streak and proceed on to try to break the record for the longest win streak in the SEC? Ole Miss is right behind Alabama in the SEC. Quietly kept. It's like one of those teams we ain't talking about much in the SEC, but they only lost one game. Right behind Alabama in the SEC West. So, my question is, can Lane Kiffin finally get a signature win for the program? For him at Ole Miss? Or does Georgia come out and just be the juggernaut that they are? Be the tough team that they are? Can they continue to win? Right now, Georgia is going through like a gauntlet right now. Missouri last week, Ole Miss this week, Tennessee the next week after that. Hey, Georgia going through a little gauntlet. Florida, hey. Can they keep pushing on? Can they keep providing the style of play that they have been providing all season? Carson Beck looking very good. Carson Beck, first year starter. Last week, he didn't seem routed at all from Missouri. Jackson Dart returns. A whole lot better quarterback than he was last season. Understands the system for Lane Kiffin. Understands the Ole Miss way. Ole Miss has some playmakers over there. Can they get it done? But the first thing that I'm going to look into is Carson Beck versus Pete Golden. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the channel. Welcome to the next time, Junior Sports Talk TV. Please like and subscribe to the channel. But the first thing that I'm looking to is Carson Beck versus Pete Golden. Carson Beck versus Pete Golden. Can Pete Golden dial up the blitz enough to confuse Carson Beck? Ole Miss. Surprisingly, they've been getting after the quarterback. They've been getting after it. That's one of the questions for me coming into this game. Does Ole Miss provide enough defense to stop the Georgia Bulldogs? Don't know. Remain to be seen, but we all know Pete Golden is going to dial it up. But can he dial it up enough that he can get to Carson Beck and keep Carson Beck confused? What I mean, he can't come with the same blitz packages that we've been seeing all year. Because I'm telling you, Carson Beck is sitting back this week. He watching film. He watching how Ole Miss and Pete Golden dials up blitz. He's watching it. So for Ole Miss to be able to rattle Carson Beck, Pete Golden is going to have to dial up different blitz packages that Carson Beck hasn't seen. Going to have to confuse him. Going to have to get to him. We Alabama fans, you know I'm an Alabama fan, we know Pete Golden, to me, it just seemed like he always came with the same blitz package that never got home. If you want to have any shot of beating Georgia, you're going to have to get home at Carson Beck. You're going to have to get him rattled. We haven't seen Carson Beck rattled yet, surprisingly. First year starter, and we haven't seen him get rattled yet. It's big time for Georgia. It's big time for quarterback play. But can y'all change that? Because if they come with that same blitz package, like I said, Carson Beck, he going to murder you. He going to make you pay for it. We seen last week that what happens when you dial up blitzes and you come with blitzes. Missouri tried it. Carson Beck and the Georgia offense They kept their composure. What they do? Screenplays. That's the best way to handle pressure. You bring pressure, you send them offensive linemen out, bubble screens, tunnel screens, and you get the ball in the playmaker's hands. And let your playmakers try to make plays on the outside. Lad McConkey, Dominic Lovett, all those guys. Put the ball in their hand. Sometimes you send out the offensive line to set up a wall, and you let them make plays. Your brain to let the pressure come through. Let it come through. That's a setup. You let them come through, boom. We hit them on the outside, put the ball in the playmaker's hands. They make plays. They did that well last week against Missouri. Did it well. So, if they bring pressure, and that's what Georgia starts countering with the tunnel screens, can Ole Miss defense stop the playmakers on the outside from making plays? Because that's going to be critical. It's going to be critical for Georgia if they get if they start doing screens, get to the outside. It's going to be critical for the playmakers to make plays. Then it's also going to be critical for Ole Miss. Can they stop the playmakers from making plays? Because if Ole Miss can stop the playmakers from making plays and they're trying to go to the screen, it's going to be real good for the defense. That possibly leads into defensive stops for them and give Jackson Dart more chance. But if they can't stop Georgia playmakers from making plays on the outside, if they have to resort to the screen game, it's going to be a long day for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is my biggest question mark about your defense. I feel like you can score enough with Georgia, but the biggest question mark is your defense. And another thing for Georgia, when Ole Miss get to bring the pressure, get to bring the blitz packages, can you slip off a couple of good runs under the pressure? Because if you can slip off, Georgia can slip off a couple of good runs with them bringing pressure, constant pressure, that's good for them. Keeping them that helps with keeping them out of obvious passing situations. Instead of being like 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 9, like, all right, now it's an obvious passing situation. Let's go. Let's hope for the best. Get a couple of good runs out against Ole Miss up under the pressure. That'll be good. That'll put Carson Beck in a better situation. Because if you can't, Ole Miss is able to stop y'all going to the outside, which I think is a tough task to do. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a tough task. But if they do, and Ole Miss is able to come out on offensive possessions and score, and they're getting stops and keep scoring and maintaining that Georgia offense, I don't really think this is the type of game Georgia want to play. Will it hurt them much? I would want to say that Georgia and Kirby Smart would want to play this game under their control instead of having to play up under Ole Miss's control and play keep-up ball. But Carson Beck versus Pete Golden. How does Pete Golden attack Carson Beck, and how does Carson Beck counter Pete Golden attacking him? So my next point is perimeter play. Can Ole Miss make plays on the perimeter? Why do you bring up perimeter play? Because Georgia struggled with the edge on Auburn. Payne Thorne was able to run. Robert Ashford was able to run. But it wasn't because they was getting out physical in the trenches. It was just they got that Georgia couldn't get the leverage on them. So with Ole Miss perimeter play, that's their bread and butter. That's Lane Kiffin bread and butter on offense. Boom, boom, east-west, east-west. Expect this is Lane Kiffin's game. Expect the jet sweeps. Expect the Wades, the Watkins, the Harrises. Expect them to be heavily involved in this perimeter play. Can Ole Miss create enough on the perimeter and loosen up the perimeter and get downfield and make plays. I don't know. I just know that's Ole Miss's bread and butter. And I know Georgia have struggled with that. Even last week against Missouri, the quarterback was able to get out there on the perimeter and make something happen. You know what I'm saying? So can Georgia stop that with the natural resources? And when I say that, natural resources are with the regular front seven they got. Can they stop it with that? Because if they can't stop it, and they have to bring extra resources in to stop it, best believe, I'm telling you, Lane Kiffin looking at, okay, they stopping it, but guess what? They bringing extra safeties up to have to stop it. And you know what happens when you bring extra safeties up with Lane Kiffin? Lane Kiffin gonna dial it up. He gonna keep it going. He gonna send the eye candy, and he gonna be dropping it right behind that safety, right over that safety. Boom, with a quick slant, getting behind, throwing it right behind the safety. Hey, Lane Kiffin, this is how he made his money. This is why he's such a great offensive coordinator. Best believe, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin is going to come in and dial it up. I'm not expecting to see stuff that I haven't seen from Lane Kiffin in this game. This is what I'm expecting. But if Georgia is able to stop this without even having to allocate extra resources and make Ole Miss, Quayshawn Judkins, and their running game from Ole Miss have to make them run north and west, north and south, believe me, I guarantee you the game plan is not come out against Georgia and run it down their throat. Run it up the middle, running in B gaps. I guarantee you that's not the plan. Get something going on the perimeter. Loosen up. You might be able to get a couple here and there. Get the playmakers of Ole Miss involved on the outside and see can Georgia's perimeter play step up. They're struggling in that. But the main thing for me is, in order to have a chance against a Georgia, you're going to have that one playmaker. For Alabama, for instance, Jameis Williams. Ohio State done beat him, but the main guy was Marvin Harrison. Trey Harris, whatever his name is, he going to have to be that guy for Ole Miss. He going to have to be that big-time playmaker. He's going to have to be the big joker for this guy. He going to have to be the dude that step up and try to be that guy for Ole Miss. Last week, big-time play from Kamara Lassner. He stood up against Luther Burden. I think he held him to like 3 catches. I think he got banged up a little bit, but he came back and it was like, Kamara Lassner stepped up. So, who steps up for Ole Miss, and does Georgia contain Trey Harrison? Let me know in the comments what y'all think of this. But overall, in the end, I think Georgia is Georgia. I don't know if Ole Miss gets enough stops to be able to win this game. I seen different point spreads. I seen 10.5 point spreads. I have seen 11. I seen 11.5. If I'm a betting man, I wouldn't take the spread. Honestly, I don't have a score prediction. But I feel like Georgia Bulldogs continue to win without Brock Bowers. Their win streak increases. I feel like Ole Miss comes out, give a hard-fought game. And I just feel like Georgia Bulldogs is too much for them. Back-to-back champions. Looking to solidify the SEC East soon. Be back in the SEC championship. And I think Georgia Bulldogs come on top. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Salute, and I'm out.